As you look around your lawn, you're probably going to notice that you've got some bare spots to deal with. Everybody does. Today I'm going to teach you 3 quick and easy techniques you can use to fix bare spots in your lawn. So the first technique I like to use would be on something like this tiny little area like a dog pee spot, something that's common that people have in their lawn would be a little yellow area where your dog goes to the bathroom. So my favorite tool for this is using my screwdriver, and I like to call this approach the aeration approach. So what I do is with all this yellow grass, I'm gonna take the screwdriver and just pull all that stuff back. That brown grass comes out pretty easily, and then you're gonna see just some bare dirt right there. Well, if I take all that out, now I'm left with this bare spot right here. Pull out the rest of this stuff. What I want to do is aerate this area. So I'm going to basically treat this like I would a golf course on a green if I had a ball mark on there. So I'm going to take out a little bit of that dirt, pull all that stuff back, and then I'm going to take the good grass from here and pull it all toward the middle. So if you just go a couple inches out and start pulling toward the middle, you're going to move that good grass into that area that used to be full of that dead yellow grass. So in just a few seconds, you can completely erase that dead spot. Things will start to fill themselves in naturally, and you're gonna be looking good. And there we go. In just a few seconds, you can take a dead spot and make it look completely healthy and green again. The second technique is one you may have seen me use before if you followed my channel for a while, but it's one that's utilized by golf courses, and that's taking good grass from an area that maybe you don't see as much and bringing it to fill a spot that's right in the middle of everything that you see. And I've got 2 yellow spots, probably from dog pee, or it might be from ducks, or one or the other. But there's some bigger yellow spots that I can't use the aeration technique because they're just too big. So for this, we're gonna take some good grass from an area that we don't typically see very much, cut it out, and replace the areas that are not looking as good right in the middle of everything that I see all the time. So for this technique, I'm gonna get rid of these 2 bare spots right here. They're a little bit too wide for me to use the aeration approach like I just did in the other spots. But for this, I'm gonna use a spade. And all I have to do is dig down about 2 inches because I wanna make sure I get the roots and everything. But I'm gonna go around the outside of this and I'm gonna dig down and cut out a perfect little square. And then I'm gonna go over to a good area where I've got some good grass on the side that you don't see very much. But I'm gonna cut that out and replace these areas. So I'm gonna start right here. I'm gonna go down about 2 inches. The grass is pretty wet right now, so it's good to do this when the soil is wet. All right, so I've got my piece I cut out from the other area. Like I said, that's right in the middle of everything, and if I leave those bare spots, it's gonna drive me crazy. I'm probably a little nutty for that, but that's okay. So what I'm gonna do now is there's some good grass over here, but this area you don't see very much. People don't walk past this. So I'm gonna pick an area, I'm gonna get some good grass from here, and all I'm gonna do is take that piece that I just cut out, and I'm gonna lay it down right here in the grass. So that's gonna be my template for the way I'm gonna cut this out. So all I have to do now is go right around the outside of that piece, just like I did before, dig down the same amount. There we go. Now with this, if I just dig down just the way I did, I can take that out. Now here's my new piece of sod that I'm gonna put over to replace the piece that was no good. All right, so I got my good piece of grass I just cut out from over there. Now this is gonna go right in to fill in this bare spot. So if you notice that's a little too high or a little too low, you can take some dirt off the bottom if you need to. It's up to you, but I'm gonna put that right into place, step that down, and it's basically like replacing a hole on a golf green. And then if I just take my screwdriver, pull the outsides in, it's all gonna match up nicely, and within a week or so, you're not even gonna be able to tell that this ever happened. Give that a little bit of water afterward, and you're gonna be good to go. So there we go. If I Step that down a little bit, level that all out. What was a brown ugly spot just a couple minutes ago, now is all gonna blend in nicely. And there we go. It's as simple as that. This last technique is one that I've utilized quite a few times, and it's the same concept that's used at a golf course when you replace your divot on a fairway or wherever you may be on the course. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over to the garden, we're gonna get some good dirt, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna repair some areas that aren't completely filled in for my seeding project in the spring. So I'm gonna take that dirt, we're gonna fill up the bucket, we're gonna make a pre-mix that we can lay out over top of the areas that aren't completely thick. All right, so I've got my dirt. I'm gonna put some starter fertilizer in. Not a whole lot, just a little bit to get it jump started, help with that root development. And then I'm gonna take my grass seed and just sprinkle some of that in as well. And then the way I like to mix it up is with my pitchfork. So I take my pitchfork, stir this all up, and then I got a nice mixed batch of grass seed where the seed's already in the soil. Maybe a little bit more seed in there. There we go. Mix that all up and then we're gonna be good to go. All right, so the areas where I'm gonna be seeding, I'm gonna take the pitchfork and just poke some holes in those areas just to open up the ground a little bit. I found it works best when you do this. If you push it down, do a circular motion and then pull it back out, it's gonna leave an opening just like an aerator would. All right, so I've got my pre-mix. I'm just gonna take this by hand and sprinkle it out over those areas. It doesn't have to be perfect, but right now we've got that good soil, we've got starter fertilizer and the seed all mixed in there. So now all I have to do is just sprinkle it over top of those areas, and I'm gonna brush it all down into the canopy of the grass here in just a second. But this is really gonna allow that grass to get down into the dirt, make some good seed to soil contact. That starter fertilizer is gonna help it dig down deep roots, and it's gonna be looking good to go. So any of those spots that aren't completely filled in, I'm gonna put this in, get a rock here. There we go. Very simple, very easy, but it's really effective. I've done this for years now, and every time I've done this, I've had good results. As long as you keep that wet, you're gonna be good to go. The last thing I like to do is come through with a broom and just sweep everything to get that grass seed and everything else worked into the canopy of the grass. If you have a leveling rake, this would work also for that. I do have a leveling rake, I just don't feel like grabbing it. But this works really well. I've done this for years now, and that's how I've gotten a nice thick turf. But like anybody, you're probably gonna have bare spots every now and then. So depending on your situation, if you use these 3 techniques, you're gonna have great results. So those are my 3 favorite techniques for filling bare spots and keeping a nice, thick, green, beautiful lawn that you see behind me. Thanks so much for watching this video. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.